Here's how to create a 2D game like this one, where the player, an octopus creature, can shoot ink balls to propel itself, move around, and explore the environment. The octopus can collect ink balls that burst and reveal the boundaries of the levels. There are different colors of ink that the player can collect to replenish the shooting limit and change abilities. For example, yellow ink lets you destroy enemies, while green ink lets you rotate green platform objects. You can get this project as a complete template from the Unity Asset Store, with 15 levels already created, or you can download the player controls for free as a demo project. The links for both, along with other resources, are available in the video description. First, let's create the character. The player is a simple blue circle with two white round eyes, a rigid body 2D, and a circle collider 2D. The rigid body 2D body type is set to dynamic. The mass is 1, and the gravity scale is 0.3 to mimic ocean movement. Next, we'll create a script called player and attach it to the player's game object. We'll create the following variables: shoot force and move force to control the ink ball shooting strength and how much the player moves when shooting. Ink shots, int, to track how many ink balls the player can still shoot. RB, rigid body 2D, which references the player's rigid body. Is shooting, bool, to add a cooldown so the player can't shoot too many ink balls at once. Eyes, game object, to move the eyes toward the cursor for a visual effect. Sprite renderer, to change the player's color when picking up different ink types. Eye sprite renderers, to make the eyes turn into X's when the player dies. Particle system, to change the color of the tentacles and disable them when the player dies. Stop, bool, to stop player movement. Type, int, to define which ability the player currently has: blue, yellow, or green. We also have a variable called instance to reference this script from other scripts and call its functions. I store the main camera and call the update ink function to update the slider UI value and change its color. I use a function called doColorUI to smoothly animate the UI color change. In the update function, I have the code that makes the player move while shooting ink balls and reduces the ink shots value. If ink shots is less than or equal to 0, the player won't be able to shoot. It instantiates ink balls, which I store in another script called container. I always use this script to store variables like game objects, sprites, and colors. This script should be placed on a game object that doesn't get destroyed. I usually put it on the Audio Manager game object, which has the Don't Destroy on Load function. In Update, I also call the Eyes Aim function, which makes the player's eyes follow the mouse cursor. Additionally, the player cannot shoot when clicking over UI elements. This is handled using a check that prevents unwanted controls when the player is in the pause menu. This is the entire update function. Now let's create the 3 ink balls that the player can shoot: blue, yellow, and green. Each ink ball is a smaller colored circle with a circle collider 2D, a rigid body 2D, a tag named ink, and a layer called ink ball. They have a script called ink ball with an integer type to determine their ability. Blue, type equals 0, rotates blue doors. Yellow, type equals 1, destroys enemies. Green, type equals 2, rotates green platforms. If type equals 1, yellow, the ink ball detects collisions with objects tagged as spikes and destroys them. When an ink ball hits anything else, it gets destroyed and spawns a splatter game object with a random splatter sprite. To make the splatter appear only on walls, create a splatter game object with a splatter sprite and set its sprite renderer mask interaction to visible inside mask. The wall game object should have a box collider 2D, a rigid body 2D, static body type, and a sprite mask using the same sprite as the wall. This way, the splatter will only be visible on the walls. Random splatter sprites are chosen from a sprite table stored in the container script. For the enemy, use any game object with a collider and the tag spikes. You can color them red and decorate them to make them stand out. Next, create a game object called Ink Boom with a circle collider 2D, a rigid body 2D with a gravity scale of 0, and the tag Ink Explosion. When the player collects this, it will shoot 10 blue ink balls in all directions to help reveal the level. Then, create 3 ink collect game objects, one for each color. When the player collects one, the ink shot slider refills and the player changes color based on the collected ink. Each has a circle collider 2D, a rigid body 2D, gravity scale of 0, and tags blue, yellow, and green. Back in the player script, add on collision enter 2D. If the player collides with an ink explosion, call shoot balls in all directions to shoot 10 blue ink balls around. If the player collides with blue, refill ink shots to 30, set type equals blue, and update the UI slider. If the player collides with yellow or green, the same happens, but the type and color change accordingly. If the player collides with spikes, the player loses. Each collision also spawns a particle effect from container and plays a specific sound using the audio manager. Now let's create the rotating doors and platforms. The door that rotates when hit by a blue ink ball has a box collider 2D and a script called button activator with a public int type equals 0, so it only activates for blue ink. The green platform uses the same script, but has type equals 2, so it activates only for green ink. The green platform has an area effector 2D that gives a push of force to the player. Add a camera with a script called camera follow to follow the player. Make sure the offset is set to 0, 0, -10. An important detail is to set the camera's background color to match the wall color. This way, the player will use ink to reveal the level as they explore. Also, make sure the player character has the tag player. Finally, create a finish game object with a circle collider 2D set as trigger and tagged finish. In the player script, add onTrigger enter 2D so that when the player enters it, they win the level. And last, in Project Settings, Physics 2D, Layer Collision Matrix, disable collisions between the ink ball layer and the player, so the player's own ink balls can pass through. Now that we've created all the prefabs, let's assign each one to its proper place. Add the splatter and the different colored ink balls to the container game object. Then assign the sprite for the X-shaped eyes and all the random splatter sprites. Now you can start creating the levels as you like. Create a new scene, add the player game object, the camera, walls, ink collect items, spikes, doors, and the finish game object. You can create as many levels as you like. I didn't include how to create the tentacle effect, explosion effect, or the UI manager system in this video, since that's part of a separate project, but you can get it from the Unity Asset Store. Or you can get the complete project, which includes everything shown in this video, along with the UI manager system and the following features: a complete main menu with a level manager, a sound manager to mute music and sound effects, loading screen animations while switching levels, 15 pre-built levels, full documentation explaining how to import, customize, and extend the template, a built-in system to save and load game progress, user interface elements that automatically adjust to different screen sizes and orientations. All the links and resources are in the description below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more tutorials like this one, make sure to like and subscribe.